Hello, dear friends. Welcome to Kardec Radio, where we're here to nourish our souls. I'm Norah, the host of this program. Thoughts by Joanna, Angelis, and Divaldo Franco. It's a beautiful book, friends. In life we have, to keep on going. We have victories, challenges, and all in between. And I think this book comes in super handy because the lessons that we learn from here, right, they're inspirations for us to just become better versions of ourselves. So today's message is all about self-awareness, right? Relating to conscious and health. So let us think how all of this will help us. When individuals reach psychological maturity, Joanna and Divaldo say, their behavior is balanced and honorable, attesting to their evolutionary stage, which differentiates them from the average biotype still in the beginning stages of self-knowledge. So one of the words that we want to sort of break this down, we're like a biotype, right? And maybe it could be this metaphorically term that she uses to sort of differentiate the different phases of psychological or spiritual development, right? Like a biotype, like a type of this development where some are here, there, right? Not about right or wrong, but really just doing that self-evaluation and not comparing ourselves, but really, okay, well, I need a range. I need a scale or something to gauge myself as I'm going through this life, right? That's kind of what she's saying. And another thing now to take this is to ask ourselves, well, what could she possibly mean by psychological maturity? There's so many directions we can take, right? But let us think about this in a sense of like our behavior, right? So a balanced behavior would be someone who exhibits stability in personal actions and reactions, right? Like handling situations in a calm, composed, and even-handed manner. So we can think if something comes, how am I reacting? And what's my behavior, right? Are my actions, what are my actions guided by, right? And someone who has reached to this stage, we can say, right, we can infer some principles of honor, ethics, and integrity. So these choices that need to be made reflect a higher standard of morality, right? How many scenarios are there? Let us put ourselves in a tricky situation, in a challenge, right? And that's the best way we can measure ourselves. What's our demeanor? And what word choices do we use, or how are we treating our brothers and sisters when I'm in this very complex situation? Like that's how we start to measure ourselves. And we know that Joanna is saying that these individuals reaching this psychological maturity, this harmony, will indicate that. And we can think how many times people walk into a room and they just have a different sense of energy. We trust going to this person. We know there's security in that, right? So this obviously comes with time, right? Our journeys allow us to grow into these roles that we want to be at. Now, we are never going to stop learning. So what if we now put ourselves in this position and be like, okay, well, how can I better myself, right? After all, that's what we want to do, right? Well, one way, not the only, there's so many ways, but we can think of this, right? In Joanna's way, we know how she is all about self-knowledge. So we want to cultivate that self-knowledge, that self-awareness, spending time in reflection, right? Like understanding our feelings, our thoughts, our behaviors. And when we do this, right, based on Joanna, this self-awareness will help us and guide us. The second thing is this emotional balance or regulation that we know Joanna's trying to get to us, right? How can we maintain a calm and composed demeanor? I need to be there. What does it take? And everybody's so different. Does it mean taking deep breaths? Is it just stepping out for a little bit, coming back? Is it imagining something in our heads? What is it? Another thing is, how are we acting, right? So let's make decisions that align with moral and ethical values, even when it's very, very difficult. How, friends? We need to learn to respect others, treating others, right? The golden rule. And also taking accountability for ourselves. So when we're acting with honor, it's all these systems, right? Working together. But at the end of it all, at the end of that experience, right? These are the attributes that are really going to help us and mold us to just become more approachable and welcoming individuals. We can say that. And another thing is about embracing evolutionary growth. This one's tough for us, right? First, we can say, oh my gosh, because we know growth equals challenges. So let's embrace them. And how can we do that? Well, let's just stay open to new ideas, experiences, and perspectives. Let's adapt to the change. Let's be flexible, willing to change the old patterns that no longer serve us. So we can't just be fixed on one way and this is the way and think, okay, we're growing. We have to be flexible. And we need to accept mentorship and guidance. We have so much support. So let's learn, let's pay attention from those around us who perhaps are more experienced in particular kinds of our lives and also be those role models, right? So this interchange of help, because evolutionary growth is us, but it's also the collective, right? Individual and the collective. So in the Gospel According to Spiritism, chapter 17, Be Perfect, there is a section, Good Spiritus. It ends beautifully where it says, the person who can be justifiably classified as a true and sincere spiritist is to be found in a superior level of moral progress. The spirit of this person almost completely dominates their physical body, so giving them a clear perception of the future. The principles of the doctrine, which leave many untouched, cause them to feel deep inner vibrations. In short, their heart is moved, and this is what makes their faith unshakable. It is like a musician who is touched by only a few chords, whereas another person hears only sounds. The true spiritists can be recognized by their moral transformation and by the efforts they employ in order to dominate their bad instincts. While one is content with a limited horizon, the other, who understands that better things exist, makes every effort to liberate himself or herself, right? And always manages to do this with their desire when their desire is strong and true. So here we have the example in action in a very methods way, right? Bringing to us Kardec kind of like step 1, 2, 3. This is it, right? So now we can ask ourselves, like, am I there, right? Do I exhibit this moral transformation, this character to overcome the negative instincts, right? That Allan Kardec and the spirits are sharing with us. Can we see beyond this? Can we have greater aspirations? Because that can make a huge difference in how we react, right? And what about me as far as my deep inner vibrations? Where am I? How am I using this unshakable faith? Do I have it? Do I not? Am I working towards it? So these are all just ways for us to reflect and see the references across Spiritism and even this, right? We see it in different New Age authors as well, like Louis Hayes, etc., Wayne Dyer, right? That come and help us with that emotional intelligence. So friends, to kind of wrap this up with Joanna's message today, to be this psychologically mature spiritist, right? It's a commitment of more progress and efforts to kind of dominate these lower instincts. It's faith and transformation, right? So it's not just the intellectual. Sometimes when we rationalize too much, it might not be in our favor. So finding that balance, right, towards that spiritual liberation. So when we take these steps with balance and honesty, it really helps us grow in self-awareness and really sets the pace for our personal growth journey, which is amazing, right? We have so many tools and so many resources. That is today's lesson, friends. Like, honestly, it's incredible because really we have just to trust the process, or trust our heart, and just give it our all. That's the bottom line. We can't go wrong with that. Like, at the end of the day, it's not about comparing or anything, but just to feel right, just to tune into ourselves, to pray and to trust, and just do our best, right, dear friends? So that is really the homework of the week. So thank you so much for joining us here at Kardec Radio. Let us not forget to tune into other programs. And until next week, same place and same time. Bye, friends. Take care.